Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies. Foe. This is Get, your host. Now, it's a big day, astrology, as above, so below, kicking in. I did some looking. I got family coming here. In fact, they got here last night, exactly 12 hours ago. They got here around 10 o'clock. It's now 10:37 a.m. That's the number I'm always seeing, 10:37. That synchronicity don't stop. So I checked out the more recent space chart, and it was in perfect harmony with the family coming, the Cancer, that's the family, the mother, that's my mother, True North Node, and Cancer, that's my birth, True North Node. It's in perfect sync, and they was coming on the 7 degrees, and that 7 is a chariot card, which is Cancer energy with people coming. Then I was driving around today, and amazingly, it just seemed like the sun was trying to hide from me, which was crazy. Like I never saw the full sun. Every time I seen it, was like in the hidden position. You could see the sun, but it was like behind something. Like usually that early in the morning, you could see the sun. And then when I go up, it's called route. Let me make sure I got the right route number. I think it's Route 33 East. You always see the sun. No, I'm sorry, Route 66 East. You always see the sun early in the morning. I ain't see the sun then, but you were seeing it off and on. And then I go up this street, and whenever I get to the end of that street, you always see the sun right there. You still didn't see it, but you would see it like in trees, and like it was high. Like if you playing hide and go seek when you're a little kid, and somebody trying to hide, but you see their head over something. You know they right there. That's what the sun was doing. So I know everything happens for a reason. So I did some looking into it. So I knew it had something to do with clarity. Because if you saw the full sun, that means you got the full clarity. But when it's hiding like that, it's something you're gonna get some information, but it's probably not gonna be fully correct or whatever. So then I got out the more recent space chart, dark chart, because you can use a white chart or dark chart. They don't always agree. But the dark chart put the sun exactly with Mercury. So I was right about communication, and right around the Pisces constellation. And that's my youngest sister is a Pisces, 3 years younger than me. So basically, just got to be careful any communication coming. And my younger sister does have a reputation for starting shit, and be her communications be kind of slanted. Not to put it down, not saying she's gonna do it this time, but the universe is always looking out for you. A lot's been going on, so much I haven't been able to talk about it. Well, when I do talk about it, will probably be on my other channel, and that'll be coming soon. All right, so I want to get that out, lay the foundation that astrology, you can trust it. Sometimes it's right on point. Sometimes it's just to keep you awake, to keep you aware, but you can definitely trust it. What you're looking at is two natal charts, birth natal charts. The woman on the right requested it, and she does what I say is very wise, because when she meets people, she gets to like a profile. And it's funny because anywhere else in the world, everybody gets profiles. If you try to get a job, they want to see your resume. That is your profile. And once they get that information, sometimes they ask for your driver's license to go a little deeper. If you hold any position, saying government or whatever, they're going to ask for some background checks, and they're going to get a profile on you. A lot of people date nowadays. They want to get a profile on a person they're dating. It's just the way it's common sense. Nothing is more precise than the birth natal chart. Now, because it shows you the nature of the person. Any other profile is just basically telling you where they work, what they did, if they got in trouble, blah, blah, blah. But the birth natal chart shows you the true nature of that person, the essence of that person. People say twin flame, twin flame. Again, you can't know if somebody a twin flame or not without the birth natal chart. Otherwise, you're going by somebody's voice, a psychic told you that, or just feelings you got. And soulmate connections can be just as strong as twin flame connections. And sometimes they work out way better. And that's why people think, oh, this is my twin because we get along so well. No, that's probably your soulmate. Usually your twin flame is going to be drama. Not always, but usually. Like I honestly going to say higher than 80% of the time, your twin flame connection or awakening is going to be drama filled. Your soulmate may not be that bad. You got to know this stuff if you're going to have the correctness. And if you don't have the correctness, what happens is you're walking around saying this is my soul, this is my twin flame, this is my twin flame, and then that's going to get tested. And what's going to happen when the twin flame really does show up? All right. So we all wanted to get that information out to show why it's important to have your birth natal charts. I got people getting their whole family done. I got all kind of things going on. A woman was going through a very sad divorce. Got teenage kids. We did those. Found out that the woman that her husband was leaving her for, that woman is very manipulative. She don't even love the husband. She's just using him. You can see it all on the chart. And I told her that, and she said that a psychic had told her that before I told her that. But that's what happens sometimes when you break out of a covenant, a marriage covenant. Sometimes what you jump into is like jumping out of the pot into the fire. And she is able to learn a lot of the reasons why she's divided from her daughters and things like that. Can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. This is why I have unapologetically continued to do what I do. Even though I could have just did it easy and dumbed down and kept making a whole lot of money. And the prices have always been the same. It was just that the orders were coming in, making a whole lot of money. But I'm not watering down Jack Dilly's squad. I'm gonna tell the truth. So people don't always want to hear the truth. They want to feel good. But sometimes when you feel good, you're like getting high. You got to come down sooner or later. And when you come down, you might be in a jail cell with a couple of guys running up the rear. Imagine if you had just told the truth. There's a price to pay for a deceptive lifestyle. What do we have here? 8 degrees, medium quelly. And hers is in Libra. So that's interesting. All right, so this is what we will be doing. The chart on the right, we've done over and over again. So I'm just going to ask her if I've done your chart and we've done the numerology on your chart, then you should be good to go for a little while. Because I'm looking at your chart now, primarily the numerology, and I don't see any 29 degrees, no anaretic degrees. All right. So what we will be doing is we'll be doing his chart on the left, and then we will be looking at what connections they have as far as romance or love or anything like that. Ascendant, his ascendant. Now, if you don't know what the ascendant is, let's do that. That's when the sun went over the horizon when he was born. AC is your rising sign and your ascendant. So if someone said, what is his ascendant? Cancer. What is his rising sign, which is the same thing as the ascendant? Cancer. His EP or East Point, that is where the sun went over the ecliptic when he was born. East Point, again, Cancer. And then he has Vesta retrograde. And 9 degrees. All right. So let's look at that. All right. So the question is, why is Vesta retrograde? So we'll look at the definition of Vesta retrograde. Vesta is associated with the Vestal Virgins of ancient Rome. Vesta represents honor, duty, sacrifice for a cause. She influences the home and a person's work ethics. Now that might sound all well and good, but don't come to a conclusion yet because there's so much more to go. Retrograde Vesta represents a time to reflect on the way in which we serve others, a cause or belief in addition to our sense of honor, pride, and sacrifice. Retrograde Vesta asks whether the service is selfless pleasure or martyrdom, obligation or genuine responsibility. Now, the main thing is, whenever you see they, when I say they, the people who design this natal chart and in turn designing this human's life, whenever they put the first house and the 12th house, it's because there's something from a past life that still has to be dealt with in this life. These type of people are on 2 time frames usually. Now, when they're talking about Vesta and sacrifice and all that, that's stuff you would talk about in the 12th house. Sacrifice and Vesta can also mean isolation, but I don't want to deal with that just yet. But that's also the 12th house. The 12th house deals with isolation as well. And because it was a 12th house, you are still kind of dealing with Pisces energy. You have to keep that in mind. Vesta retrograde in Pisces also supports an intuitive period of time and an important karmic event that heals old wounds. So he's still dealing with that. This is karmic, dealing with past life and possibly healing. So this person, Vesta retrograde in Cancer, supports travel and escape that may have a higher mission or purpose. Visiting ancestral lands or peoples, spiritual or religious sites, or places that feel like a home away from home. See, you're talking about past life stuff. So this person will have some type of connection to past life. So in these travels, they will find, and remember, travel can be literal, could also be reading a book, studying online, it could be anything. In these travels, you will find inspiration and a new sense of family that may be global rather than nuclear. All right. Still digging a little bit more though. Now, when you're talking about twin flames, Vesta retrograde is trying to balance both sexes for 5D, both of the twins. So in both cases, whether he's going backwards to ancestors or whatever, he's also going to be balancing out for 5D. And they say it again, to purify you and heal you, especially related to sexuality and the sexual energies. Nana is saying that this retrograde effect of Vesta could be a time of stress or difficulty, struggle. So that would, of course, be associated with Cancer energy. Remember, Cancer rules the 4th house. So his first house is connected to his 4th house. This is teenage to adult education, land, property, real estate, family, and ancestors. The heart, vehicle, travel, and also whoever raised him in his younger years in a mother capacity, that would be Imam Quelli. So she'll always be in Cancer and or the 4th house, and she has a unique connection to the moon, which rules Cancer. And this is why you see the number 18 with 9. Now, Vesta works with Virgo, and Virgo represents the 6th house of the home, and Vesta works with Virgo for the family. And in astrology and in ancient cultures, it really was the mother who more or less ran the home. It was the mother of the female that gave the law. This is why they talk about the Proverbs 31 woman. So Vesta is spiritual in that sense, but not always, because Vesta can also be highly sexual. Depends on what the house is or the placement is. So now Vesta can also mean energy, because people will tell you wherever you see Vesta at on your chart, be careful, because that's where you're going to spend a lot of your energy. And if you're not careful, you can burn yourself out. So now 18 degrees is telling you that his mother is representing the moon. And not only that, but his mother is that 9-degree hermit card, where this man has illumination, but he's getting illumination from his mother, and she's getting illumination from the moon. Now, I just told you guys about my family coming right at the same time about Cancer. I told you about that number 7, which is the Chariot card with his Cancer. And even when I told you about the moon out there, but kind of hiding itself, I never once today saw the moon blazing in the sky like it normally does. Every time I saw the moon, it was hiding behind something. Every single time. Never seen that before in my life. So there's something special going on with family and everything right now anyway. But he has those effects on his chart. And if you think he doesn't, number 19, the ascendant, that 19 is the sun card. None of this stuff is coincidental. That's why I said sometimes you say, oh, why, what's taking so long? What's taking so long with my chart? It's because you ain't ready to hear it yet. The universe is going to give you divine timing. That's what's taking so long. So if it takes an extra 3 days to happen, it happens. See, it's not me. It's not the charts. It's that we're so bent on some fake-ass matrix that we've forgotten how to think spiritual. We've forgotten how to be like our ancestors were. They were looking up. Just like Jesus Christ said, look up. When you see these things happen, look up. He didn't say when you see these things happen, look further at the powers that be. Try to find a way in. He didn't say that. And that's in John, and that's Luke 21. In John 17, Messiah said, my people are no part of the world. The scriptures say you're in the world, but you ain't supposed to be part of the world. So the more and more you see these fake-ass Christians imitating the world, you know they ain't nowhere near the Messiah. And they better hope he's got a plan to save their asses so they don't end up in hell. So again, there's a spiritual priestly connection. Now again, this stuff is going on in spirit. This stuff is going on internal. You may see him. That's why you see a lot of people of color. They always want to get back to the motherland, Africa. And then they start wearing like African gear and stuff like that. This is what you see on the outwardly. Now he may do that too. But what I'm seeing also is inwardly. And it's in his ego, East Point. That's the spiritual, the hermit. Hermit's more internal. The hermit will come out in public, but he's got the lantern in his face. He's going by his own enlightenment. But he will come out, even though he's a hermit. What makes him a hermit is he can sit around your midst, but no matter what you're talking about, he's going to follow his own enlightenment. That lantern before his face. 18 is the moonlight. So this person is dealing with masculine, ego, external, the sun. But he's also dealing with the internal, secret, the feminine, the moon. And all of this is motivating him in his first house. And it's of a priestly or an internal fashion. And that's why I was recently talking about the movie Scarface. It was the character Al Pacino played a brutal murderer, criminal, you name it, he did it. But he still had respect for young life. See, underneath all that dark criminal element was still a spiritual side. He hadn't become so corrupted that he could care less whether he killed the kid or not. He still cared about stuff like that. This is also karmic because you see the number 17. That's why I'm telling you his 12th house is representing the spiritual of his past life or lives, and it's underlaying in his first house. And his first house, like I said, whatever I said is in the 4th house. But it's primarily about the family. But it's way deeper. And right now, on your modern day space chart, the true north node is in Cancer, the family. And that's another reason why the universe might keep bringing the family back around. Because the universe is kind of doing that. And that's why when I saw that, I had to readjust my attitude and readjust my viewpoint. Because I can see the universe bringing these people who, due to past trauma, you're like, weren't they just here? Do they have to come back again? But the universe is saying otherwise. So that's why I said even it's a message. This chart, another one I just did, it's also a message for me. That's why it starts off with it's divine timing. If you just play your role and let the universe in and do your part, everything works out. But when you come with third dimensional team, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, you want a nickel and dime, you don't want to believe it, you keep coming with third dimensional, nobody can help you. So really quick, we're going to go to the left, go into what is now his 12th house of Gemini. So Gemini now is in the 12th house. 12th house is about karma, endings, service, buildings, things that are hidden that they're hoping you bring out and work on. The third house ruled by Gemini is about young children, education, publishing, marketing, speaking, creativity, traveling but short distance, the brotherhood around you. So it's about service again. Now, Lilith retrograde is always dealing with internal things. But we already talked about the moon and the mother. So now you see it in the 12th house. And Gemini is also siblings, brothers and sisters. All right. Just give me a moment, because I typed in Lilith retrograde in Gemini, and I am getting Lilith in Gemini. So let's look around and see what they're saying. All right. So they're saying right away, because he's a Gemini, he's going to be living primarily in his thoughts. And we already shown you that. He's got a deep mother thing. And it may not all be good. And it's affected him so much that it's affecting his first house and his second house. But sometimes when Lilith is affecting a person like that, it's too much mother inside their head. And that's why these type of people do end up sometimes in the 12th house. Now they say this person has to be careful because they might come down with asthma or injuries of the lung, arm, hands, and shoulders. They also say he may be deep into intellectual stuff. He might be into arts. But he could be somewhat superficial, and his objectivity might be limited. Because they're really into ideas and thoughts. And they may not be consistent with like one person, because they're always Gemini is always changing. And they say this person is like a twin in one person. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is way deeper than that. It's not just a twin in one person. This dude got like some weird mother connection. But it's deep. And just like I said, one is at an unconscious level. I said that. And the other one is what we would see. So that's crazy. Like it's almost like a movie where you see a man go out and he has a manly job. He puts on a suit. He goes to a manly job, and stuff like that. But then in his own privacy or somewhere else, he'll put on like his mother's clothes or some stuff like that. I'm not saying this guy got it that bad, but it is that same. It's along that same spirit, that same inclination. And see, Lilith deals with repression. A lot of times on charts, Lilith will represent somebody who's been abused. And that could be his case, like literally abused. So what happens sometimes is these type of people, they're always in some type of hiding. One is a person, I got a friend of mine that's an Aquarius, and he just went through this because he was dating a Gemini. And he said, 1 minute she could be sweet or whatever, and all of a sudden she was crazy. He had to really call the cops on her because she was talking about murder and stuff. Oh, she was just nutty. So they said the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And they said this person could be schizophrenic. So like I said, it's the masculine yang and the feminine yin. And they say it. They go right on and say nervous, anxiety, homosexuality, mental eroticism, bad communication, intellectual frustration. All these are in relationship with Black Moon and Gemini. And Black Moon is Lilith. The thoughts are often ferocious and cold. And they say there are several personalities in the same person. And then now 14 is temperance, which is the Sagittarius energy, but it's bringing the two together, the masculine and the feminine. But it's weird. It's not. It's a mother connection. So she's gonna be the feminine. So now here's Lilith in the 12th house, and there's a few YouTube videos on it as well. All right. Give me a moment. But see, like I said, I understand all this. See, I keep it 100. People don't like it, but I keep it 100. But before we even go more into Lilith and the 12th house, I got to talk about this because it's where we at right now. In fact, I'm gonna make a prophecy based on what I saw on the natal charts and all that. You're gonna hear more mother-son issues, even mother-daughter issues in the news. Like if you listen to a lot of news, you might even see it in your neighborhood and even in your own house. But right now, there's gonna be a time you're gonna see more and more of that right now, based on what's going on. As above, so below. But I'm gonna really go in. So give me a second. Give me a moment. What? All right, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. Now, let me just read this. Let's just see what this says. I'm just reading some of this stuff. Okay, so Lilith's energy can hide subconscious energies of malice and self-undoing. So that's definitely going to be in the 12th house. But we already showed you the 1st house and the 12th house. And they working on Same thing like over. We already explained that. Overlapping, however you want to explain it. See, like I said, I try to keep it 100. But we already seen the issues going in. And I just wanna think on how far I wanna go with this. So I'm trying to see what this guy is writing. But you actually got two houses so far, the first house and the 12th house, and they both telling you it's gonna be a lot of internal shit that's gonna fuck up the external. Cause like I said, if people ain't got the insides right, the subconscious, all that shit, ain't no way they're gonna be able to function. And the main, and that's why I'm trying to tell you, when you see these people go for a long time, and all of a sudden you hear some shit, and you be saying to yourself, how did he get caught up in that? Oh, he was a role model in church. Oh, because they carried that shit all them years. And a lot of people, you're not with people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you don't know what they think about or what they doing. But sooner or later, at some point, that shit come out. And it's usually because they had some internal shit that they didn't really deal with. Subconscious shit, eternal shit, hidden shit that they didn't deal with. And it finally came out. Having Lilith in the 12th house can be one of the most dangerous natal placements possible. Now, remember, I'm getting this information from the astrocodex.com. Lilith in the 12th house. The 12th house is connected directly to the native subconscious and even unconscious mind. Subconscious, that's like if you was on the second floor and somebody's right underneath you doing their own thing, but what they doing is affecting you. That's the subconscious mind. Unconscious, you don't know what the fuck going on, but it's still affecting you. That's like the enemies targeting you with all kind of devices that make your heart have a heart attack or shit like that. You're unaware of it, unconscious of it, but it's still going on. And the 12th house can also deal with fears and anxiety. And Gemini is known for being like nervous or doubtful. The number 6 card is the Lover's card. The number 6 tarot card. And now you say, oh, the Lover's card. But that card is about doubt. All depends on how it comes up and how it comes up in your read. But that card is about doubt. It's more about doubt than it is about love. And that's sad, but unfortunately, that's the way it is. We had a moon in Gemini recently, and that was the first thing Terry Nasan, who in my opinion is one of the best astrologers on the planet, Terry Nasan said, oh, it's a Gemini moon, so you're probably going to be having anxiety feelings and nervous feelings. So, person might suffer harsh dreams, harsh anxiety, even nightmares. And they said they will also have a mystical atmosphere and sometimes connected with sexuality. Now, I must tell you, this is either a mother molestation of the son, or the mother was molested and that has gone into the son. Like they say the elephant boy, his mother was attacked or terrified of an elephant, and then he was born an elephant boy. Now you got to remember, way back in the day, this was Michael Jackson collecting all these artifacts. And he also was collecting monkey artifacts. If you look on that album cover he has, where he has that naked little boy in his hand, that album cover where he had all that strange art, like the Beatles did the same thing on their art covers. So Michael did it on his. But that's when y'all might not remember when they was calling Michael Jackson Wacko Jacko, because of all the stuff he was collecting, all that stuff. So what Michael Jackson did, ironically, Michael Jackson did the same thing Rod Stewart did, because it had been found out that Rod Stewart was gay, and they had pumped him back in those days. That was like a big thing. So they had rushed him to the hospital and pumped all the sperm out of his mouth and out of his belly, because he was so highly sexual, highly gay. So instead of Rod getting upset and trying to come out with a clean up the information and deny it, he said, okay, you wanna make fun of my sexuality? So he gave you one of the most highly sexual songs in the world, which was Do You Think I'm Sexy? I'm a bass player, and believe me, that's one of the nicest bass parts ever. Took me a long time to learn how to play it. And here comes Rod singing Do You Think I'm Sexy? The women are going crazy. And then he's a highly sexual walking out into this audience with this long ass microphone cord. So after that song came out, nobody was talking about his sexuality. He never had to come out and publicly defend or deny. He just came out with a song and shut everybody down. Plus, he was married to one of the most beautifulest black women in the world. So Rod wasn't worrying about what you thought about his sexuality. He could care less. So when they were saying Wacko, Jacko, Wacko, Jacko, and all that stuff about Michael said, whatever. I'm going to give y'all Thriller, which some people say was his best work, but then he followed it up with another one. With Beat It, Billie Jean. So after all that, nobody was really talking about Wacko, Jacko no more. It was okay for Mike to be a little crazy. But Michael also had a connection to his mother. Michael Jackson also had a connection to Elizabeth Taylor and Diana Ross, which he also kind of idolized like a mother figure. So I'm trying to tell you who ordered this reading, this is what you got going on. And I can go deeper. I want to go see. I like to go 100. I like to go deep. I don't like this fake ass shit that's in this third dimensional piece of shit planet we're on, where everything is fake as hell, from the religion to the people going in the church. It's all around fake, fake, fake. And then people wonder why their families is dysfunctional, or the marriage didn't work out, or so-and-so cheated, or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Why don't y'all ever deal with the cause? The cause of why. Don't just deal with the problem. Deal with why there's a problem. This is what you guys don't want to touch. This is where I come in. I love to touch it. So I don't mind going into the darkness and unveiling. I like looking at that person in the dark and say, why are you in the dark? Because you're a pathetic coward. Why don't you come out into the light? I'm a Leo. My ruler's the sun. Stop hiding in the dark. Stop deceiving these people. So I fight those type of wars. Ha ha! And I love it. But let's get back to this. Lilith is responsible for the darkest form of sexuality. Again, I remember on HBO, I was watching a movie a long time ago on cable. I don't know why I said HBO. Back then we had HBO and Showtime. It could have been either one, probably HBO, but I used to watch a lot of cable way back in the day. And there was this female cop. Badass cop, not afraid of nobody. She has almost taken out crime by herself. She's a tough cop. But she had this one guy who was a criminal on a run. And she knew he was a criminal on a run, never turned him in. And that's where she went, for her dark side. And she would let that man abuse her, burn cigarettes on her and shit. Sexually have sex with her, but in a real rough way, real disrespectful way. But yet she'd go back out into the world and throw those type of people in jail. So this is what you're dealing with. Those double personalities and all this stuff. Lilith is responsible for the darkest form of sexuality. Her influence may bring dreams of rape and unwanted perversions. The 12th house is the traditional home of Neptune and Pisces. And when Lilith blends with them, she can invoke their obscure sides. especially when she is ill aspected. Lilith can bring addictions to alcohol, drugs, and even prescription medicines. So when Lilith is in these subconscious parts of the mind, it makes the deeper thoughts unbearable. When Lilith is activated, she may radiate vicious thoughts and general negativity towards the individual's mind. This is far deeper than depression. Lilith brings harsher sentiments as self-wrath, self-destruction, and other negative feelings. So this person may start to take substances or drugs or anything he or she can take to escape their own mind. Now listen to this part. If you have this placement, Lilith in your 12th house, watch out for difficult aspects with Mars, Pluto, and Saturn. And believe me, I've gotten people. Like I've done videos on Lilith, and at some point in time I've gotten people who contact me and say, why are you talking about me? And just crazy as hell. Crazy as hell. But you got to understand, who's ever listening to this, this is what's wrong with 3D, third dimensional. Nobody takes responsibility for the fucking actions. And that's why shit gets worse. I always took responsibility for my actions. Never blame nobody in my family for nothing I chose to do. So you take responsibility for your actions. That's how you get healing. And you deal with it. On my last video I did right before this one, I told you all about Dave. At Alcoholic Anonymous. I gave you 2 scenarios with David. First time he stood up and denied every fucking thing. And shortly thereafter he was in an accident where he killed himself and about 3 other people. Drunk driving. Then I gave you a second scenario with David where he stood up and he took responsibility for his fucking actions. See, I'm not going nowhere, dude. This is the problem. Stop blaming whoever. Even if I'm a victim too. But I don't use that as a crutch. Oh, I'm a victim. Oh, feel sorry for me. No, I'm a victim. So now I'm going to work harder. The best way to get back the person that victimized you is don't continue acting like a damn victim. Get up. All this holding hands and all that. That's why the world is going worse and worse and worse. But you don't understand. Your ancestors, your forefathers, your bloodlines 3 or 4 decades ago, 6, 7 decades ago, they got back up. Because the world is, this is not a nice place. Planet Earth is not a nice place. It could be some nice things on planet Earth, but it's not necessarily a nice place. So you have to learn how to think smarter, act wiser, and realize where you're at. And most people don't want to do that. They want to dumb down. Oh, I don't want to think about that. I just want to do this. So then when their actions cause a reaction, now they want to play the victim. Oh, this happened to me and blah, blah, blah. They're like the female at the bar. Knowing what happens when people drink alcohol. Knowing what's going on. Watching all this stuff going on. You might even want to be the center of attention. But you know what's going to happen once that alcohol starts to take over. You already know what's going to happen. So then they try to act like a victim, or now you want to act like a... Where's the common sense? So, even like a reading with this, already, we're just getting started, and we're seeing it's a serious situation. That's just a fact. Not me trying to tilt it any one way or another. Serious facts. I remember it was a female that asked me to do a reading, and I tried my best to just not say anything negative because of who the female was. And it was going good for a while, then all of a sudden it went left fast. I said, man, this dude, but I told the truth. This dude is really like a nut job. So she didn't know how he would take it. But he did. When he heard it, he actually liked it. And then that's when she sent me an email and started talking to me. Because up until then, she ain't say shit. Because she didn't know how he was going to take what I had said. But y'all have to understand, where I'm from, I was always in an urban area. I live in a suburb, but I've always been in an urban area since I was a little kid. So I used to do TV. And it was the same thing. I would always say what was really going on. And when I went out in the streets, I would have people, some people would respect me for keeping it 100. And some people would say, you know what? If you wasn't who you was, we would fuck you up. I had relatives I used to talk shit about. Like, y'all grown ass men asking little kids for money and shit. And I said, all y'all making excuses of why y'all can't get the job, but y'all damn sure get that weed, y'all damn sure get that alcohol, y'all get anything y'all want, but then when it comes to a job, it's the white man's fault. I said, no, I don't prescribe to that. Stop making excuses and shit. So when I went back on that street, they're like, yo, man, we ain't know who you were. We fuck you up and shit. They used to threaten me. Ain't nobody put their hands on me. I don't worry about that shit. If I'm not lying, my nigga, I don't care. Y'all can keep on playing this stupid ass game. See, I done woke up. I'm not really with this 3D bullshit no more. Y'all can keep going through this shit. Just like I said, when you a woman and you got some man all up in your house with your daughter and shit like that, you don't know this nigga. Fuck that nigga. I wouldn't have no nigga around my kids. Like that, your boyfriend, take that nigga somewhere else. Why you bring him around your daughter and shit? So y'all don't give a fuck. And I've been on this planet long enough to see this shit over and over again. It's a fucking shame. It's a shame. But it goes on all the fucking time. And then everybody always act like a victim. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, you knew. You know how many wonderful young females I done seen get raped because of shit like that? My last job, and it's funny because the dude that I work with came through. And I'm going to talk about him on my other show when I get back on my other channel. But he came through yesterday. But this female was perfect. Perfect. Let me just explain to y'all. She was younger. She probably wasn't, I don't know exactly her age, but she was younger. She was old enough to drive, old enough to be an adult, but she wasn't like, she was definitely not past 20 or 21. Beautiful, beautiful chick I used to work with. And this is how it hurts. Because when she came in, like, with me, sometimes with people I just connect with. With her, I always connected with. I was always cool with her. Always. And that's why it hurt so much. Because anybody else in that motherfucking building, I ain't really care. For her, it hurt. And I see this shit all the time. This is why I won't back down. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do this. And I'm glad some people understand what I'm doing. At least I'm not no goddamn coward. At least I'm not no damn liar. No religious fucking liar. This shit is real. But for some reason, people just keep on going. Just like my homie had a piranhas. And he would put goldfish in there. And you will watch the goldfish swim with that piranha. Now you know you in a tank with a piranha. Why do you even let that motherfucker get close to you? Because you know sooner or later he's going to start killing you. And you would just sit there and watch him just pick them off. And they would think that they could swim around. You can't swim around no damn piranha. And you say, oh, this is my life. I'm just living my life. But that life is going to be death at some point for you or somebody else. So anyway, she was beautiful. She had 2 jobs. Beautiful female. Could dress her ass off. Easy to talk to. Beautiful. Now what got her messed up was she is in the house with some other women. So the women got all these men coming in and coming out. So the man was learning the schedule. And he knew when she would be there alone. So he went there one day when he knew she'd be alone and he just raped her. And then he raped her. Then he threw her down the steps and shit. So again, now she's messed up for life. Fucked her up. She like top of the line. But when I see that shit, I know this shit is evil. And I know what evil is. And that's why I've been fighting my whole fucking life since I've been on this planet. And ain't backing down nowhere. But unfortunately, most people on planet Earth, they'll sell out quick as fuck. Sell out their mama, sell out their wife, the best friend, all this shit. So like, let me tell you something else. Whenever you see somebody get famous, like a famous rapper or a famous comedian, and say his best friend or something die at the same time, or somebody in their family die at the same time, do you really believe that was a coincidence? Or was that a sacrifice for fame? And not anybody else in that building, why couldn't... I'm not saying I wanted to see that happen to anybody, but I'm just asking, why did it have to be the one that was cool with me? That's like a message. Because if y'all knew how many people was in the mill, I ain't talked to really nobody, but her I really cared about. Like, probably more than anybody in the whole fucking building. So if you think that wasn't a message, you out your fucking mind. And I see this type of shit all the time. So they're telling this person with Lilith in the 12th house, stop using any type of substance and try to get help, basically, is what they're telling you. It ain't no such thing as escapism, my niggas. You got to deal with it. Deal with it. If you don't deal with it, it's going to get you. I've been doing this forever. If you know you got some shit, rather crazy ass dreams, some crazy shit where somebody did to you or something, and you ain't get no type of treatment, no type of help, nigga, it's going to take your ass out. All these motherfuckers drinking high and staying high is because they dealing with pain that they don't want to deal with. They're dealing with escapism. Then once you get high, you want to drive your car all fast, you want to say fuck the world, and that's just how it be. And then you finally get what you're looking for. And then for people to get arrested, if you was already victimized in the first place, it's only going to get worse as soon as you walk in that prison. Because either the inmate's going to do it to you or the guard's going to do it to you. So with Neptune, remember Neptune rules the 12th house. Neptune rules Pisces. Pisces rules the 12th house. You're dealing with deception, illusions. So people make shit up. And they were saying something about get out and be around people. Nah, you need to get up in some type of therapy. And maybe the people you need to be around is people like you that are getting treatment and getting help. Like in cases like that, you really need somebody qualified to be there to help you. And they are with you every step of the way. And they say this person would have to get healing. And they say remember the 12th house is the gateway to the previous life. So you're going to have karmic enemies from past incarnations. Now, one example of that is somebody brought out the 50 Cent versus Ja Rule. Because it's a hatred there that 50 will not let it go no matter what. And these two been going back and forth since like the late 90s. And Lilith in the 12th house, like secrets and dangerous ones. And see, that's going to attract to the like scrupulous people, immoral people. And these are also going to be sexual secrets as well. Physical abuse, traumas, taboo matters. And they also have the power to forget traumatic experiences. But it's still there deep inside of them with the capacity. It's going to still affect them in a not so good way. So this person is going to have very strong occult powers. They said especially if Lilith is located in a water sign or conjunct a planet. Lilith is in the 12th house on this chart, so that would be ruled by the sign of Pisces. But the sign that Lilith is in is Gemini, an air sign. So, but they're still warning this person to stay away from the occult. And they said if not, this person is going to get involved with magic one way or another. So they're telling this person to face your fears, your secrets, try psychoanalysis. And they give you the same thing I did. They said take all your pain and make it your power. And that's what I did. I refused to become a victim. You could kiss my yellow ass. Ain't no cowards over here, my nigga. Peace out to all the real niggas that took their time and raised up that little kid walking through the ghetto. Way back in the early days. Way before the shit y'all see. I was on them streets. Haha. And them gangsters took me. Taught me the fucking deal. Ain't no cowards over here. Now, why is the mother connection? So, see, we already talked about Cancer, but you got to understand, Imum Kweli is the mother and the subconscious mind, but it doesn't just stop there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, that little girl was fine. Now, the reason why I'm saying, look, y'all got to understand she's way younger than me. That's why I'm calling her a little girl, but you know, she was old. She was a woman, a young woman. But she was innocent, pure, like angelic. That's why I had to have, always going to be the good ones. That's why I hate this planet so much. But what fucked her up was a woman that had become the head manager of our floor. And that was like her aunt or something. So she was basically hanging out with her and hanging out with her. And that's what got her knocked. And that's why I be trying to tell y'all. Y'all just don't be listening. Some of the people you think you cool with are setting you up. And they don't even know it. But what I'm trying to tell you, me and that woman, her aunt didn't really get along. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, if I could take this as far back, but I never can. because it's never going to stop. But when you really understand what I'm telling you, like I'm in warfare all the fucking time. Like spiritual warfare, it don't stop. You in warfare all the fucking time. But the fact of the matter is, when I first started working there, long before that girl started working there, when her aunt was just a regular employee like everybody else. But they all had their little thing, you know, people, little cliques and all that. And there was one dude in that clique, a younger kid too. He was a big dude though, but he like young, like 20 or something, but he's a big dude. So they was always watching me. But I knew how people could be. So when I was a different dude in 2014, I would have beat a nigga's ass. I would have beat a motherfucker's ass. So still affiliated with her. With her auntie, who later became the manager of that entire floor. So this big dude was always watching me and shit like that. And I don't really play. So I was literally walking one day, and this nigga grabbed me. And that, like, I'm a victim of abuse. You don't keep your fucking hands to yourself. You can lose your life putting your hands on me. I do not play. He grabbed me. But as soon as he grabbed me, he apologized. This is how demonic this dude was. One of the dudes used to be in this worshiping the devil and shit. Like they had dudes in like it was a call center of all kind of people and shit. You had people that slept with their dogs and shit. They come all up in there with fur all over their bodies and shit. So I've never been as sick as I've been when I worked there. I was come home almost every other day with all kind of sicknesses because all them people and all the different people up in there, all the stuff they was into. So he grabbed me. And then he tried to apologize, being apologetic and shit. But he would have got fucked up right then and there. Now, I wanted to keep a job. Second, I knew something was wrong with that dude. And thought I'd let that shit slide. For that reason. Because as soon as he put his hands on me, he was real apologetic. But that demon or whatever inside him said, go fuck with him. And then somehow he got fired anyway. He stopped working there. But that was like, she was related to him. So what I'm trying to tell you, that was the first war between me and her. Because all this shit is energy. If y'all can learn that, this is spirits and energy. So then she began to rise to the top. And shortly after her becoming manager, that's when that girl started working there. So she was looking at that woman like auntie, but your aunt fucked up. Like I said, that's why I'm sorry y'all can't do like I do, but that's why I'm alive. Because when somebody fuck, I don't care who it is. Anybody around me got some demons on them or some crazy spirits, now you know what? It's going to be a distance between us. And that's why anybody around me know, don't cross that line. You're going to respect my space. Because I see it all the time. These people are always trying to get in. Always. These people got spirits on them. So I'm trying to tell you, she set her own niece up. Because them men wouldn't have been in that house if it wasn't for her. And I knew the lady. Me and the lady never really got along. I mean, one time I was calling up trying to call out sick. And she was getting real disrespectful. And I like, watch your mouth. Like, don't talk. You ain't talking to no kid. Like, I'm real funny with shit like that. You talking to a grown-ass man. Don't be talking to me like you disrespect. So she kept on trying to be real disrespectful and shit. So she kept hanging up the phone. So I kept calling her ass back and shit. So that was making her madder and shit. And so then it eventually went to the big boss. And then they kind of like, they tried to sweep it under the table. But she ended up apologizing though. She actually called me out and apologized and shit. And that's what she told me. She was the one that told me that girl got raped. Her niece. But I already knew. I seen them before. That ain't the first time I seen, because women always gonna want men in the house. See, I'm a different motherfucker. You ain't coming around my kids. Fuck you. Fuck everything about you. You could be holy Jesus. You still ain't coming around my children. There's too many perverts, too much crazy shit. But I guess that's because I'm a Leo. I'm real protective. First and foremost, a motherfucker gotta die. Touch one of my kids. I don't even got no kids. If I had kids, motherfucker touch my kid, that motherfucker gotta die. If they in the house, that motherfucker gotta burn down. I don't play that. Just like I said, I don't understand this planet. Y'all let all these priests and all that do all this to the kids, and y'all don't do shit. they're your kids. You don't even do nothing. It's sad. So now why am I saying this again? Because this is what you see it on this dude's chart. It is what it is. And I gotta see, my conscience gotta be clear. Because you get stupid females that you can show them all this and they still follow their heart and set up. If you know, I got a female that had sent me a letter one time. And this is after I was wanting females. She ain't listen. And then she got raped. So then she sent me a letter and said, yeah, I should have listened to you. Your vanity and all that desire to be sexy and have somebody looking at you, it's not going to be worth what's going to happen to you if you put yourself in the wrong situation. And I'm trying to tell you, you know how bad it is. Because now that girl, she was angelic. She wasn't even the type of female to be wearing all sexy shit. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, when I worked at that job, it was so much shit going on. But through that female, it was her, and she said she had some other girlfriends. And I didn't get along with nobody up in there. But her and all her girlfriends I got along with. Because they wasn't the typical broad. They wasn't the typical bimbos. Cats don't like it when I say that. But if you try to be like the modern day Marilyn Monroe and all that shit, that's a bimbo. Marilyn Monroe got famous giving you the bimbo. And her real name was Annie Mae. So that wasn't even her. Marilyn Monroe wasn't even her real name and shit. Marilyn Monroe was a character, but everybody wanted to act like a character and not like a real person. But so is life in third dimensional. So we'll leave that alone right now. But I just showed you how her auntie was like a mother to her. And she got set up by her own blood. She got set up by her own mother-like figure. This stuff goes on all the time. I can tell you so many females I know that their own mother put them in a situation where they got raped by some dude. Their own fucking mother. Same mother, same bloodline. I done seen this shit too much. So it's evil energy. You could try to water it down if you want to, but it is what it is. Now, as far as the movie Psycho, that's what that was about. A dude that had some type of mother issues and stuff like that started going crazy, started wearing dresses and all kind of crazy shit. Like, me personally, I got no problem talking to a psychologist if I need to. If I needed to go somewhere, I used to drink. I don't drink no more. If I needed to go somewhere for alcohol, I would go. I don't know why people, you know you got some type of shit going on with you, but you don't go nowhere and talk to nobody about it. And then when it finally get found out, now you can't willfully go nowhere because now they're going to take you somewhere. In chains. So if you notice, they keep showing you that 14 if you look on this chart. Now we go to the next house, which is Taurus, and the 11th house, which is friends, association, and groups. And you just keep seeing retrogrades. So far, every one of his asteroids have been retrograde. Backwards. Also, remember, all asteroids are feminine. And guess who taught me that? Vesta taught me that. Because I didn't know all asteroids was feminine. It was on a Sunday when I began studying, and Vesta began to make herself known to me. How did Vesta make herself known to me? My heater started having problems. And that's when I was studying Vesta, and that's your heater, your energy, any electricity, but she's also small confinements. And my heater, where I'm at, my heater isn't a small confinement. It goes right down into the closet, which is a closed small area. But she can also be prison. So the heater started smelling and making noises, and the other person that's here was going crazy. But I knew what it was, but I couldn't say what it was because they think I'm crazy. So then it was on a Sunday. So they would say, oh, should we, the man said, if we send anybody out there, it's an emergency. And we're going to pay, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But I already knew what it was, and I didn't think nothing was wrong with it. It was a message. So I said, no, we could wait. We could wait till tomorrow. And then the guy that came and fixed that, or looked at the heater, because nothing was wrong with it. the guy who came and looked at the heater was the boyfriend of my sister, the firstborn, from when we was teenagers. So all that was a message, and it's all about Virgo energy. These are Virgos. My mother's a Virgo. My older sister, who's deceased, is a Virgo. See, none of this shit is a joke. It's only a joke if you think it is. It's only a joke if you take this for entertainment. This ain't nothing funny about this. Is real shit. That's why when I see this low-life behavior and motherfuckers nickel and diamond and people thinking this is funny, or you think you can go anywhere and get a reading, you just silly. You better be finding out what all this shit mean, 12 houses, and why is the 12th house the final one about judgment and shit like that. You better be fine. And what do you better learn about the underworld? Why is the 8th house Pluto? And everybody knows Pluto is the ruler of hell or Hades. This shit ain't fake. If it's so fake, how come the generations before this one was all following it? Your ancestors was all following it. You just under some capitalistic bullshit that don't give a fuck about you where you go after you die. They just pimping you out. Because they not going nowhere near God's presence. That's why I tell you, this is a democracy. Demons. So now we're going to find out about Pallas retrograde and Taurus. And y'all got to understand too what I'm trying to tell y'all about the connection. So I would have never knew what happened to that female. Because me and her, that was like my favorite friend up in there. I would have never knew what happened, but me and her so-called auntie got into it on the phone. But I'm trying to tell you that's the difference between good energy and evil energy. And that's why I said, I told her off, and then I had to meet with my boss, and I wasn't backing down. I was like, man, she's not going to talk to me any way she want to. I said, it's a way to talk to people and shit. So I was in his office, and they ain't say nothing to me. And then when I came out of his office, eventually she asked me because she talked to me, and she apologized. And then that's when she told me about that girl getting raped. See, all this is energy and power. And that's why I said, when that girl first got there, you know what, we already was connected and shit. That's why we talking about soul connections and shit. And all her friends were friends, they became my friends. Because that's all soul connections. That's like a higher energy. They not with all that silly shit. Or that low debase bullshit that all they do is cause problems. But unfortunately, they trust somebody that is. And somebody you think is your auntie or your mama actually set your ass up. Leave the door open. Or some stupid shit. Tell somebody to come by. Knowing ain't nobody gonna be there to protect you. So why would you even tell some motherfucker to come by? Or just come by and drop it off. She'll be here. Fuck. No, you don't come by. Don't come by nowhere near my house. I got niggas. I got friends that don't come over here. You understand? All my people know, nigga, you don't make no move. This is my dukes. Don't make no move over here. I'm going to have to end up killing you and shit. Like everybody know, I do not play these games. Everybody know. Don't be nowhere near me. Don't be in front of my house. Don't be in front of my windows. None of that. Because you're going to see a different side. I don't play that. And ain't nobody over here getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tried to break in. But the reason why the dude tried to break in, because the stupid person in this house, it was when I left. Tell this person all the time. If you're not in these rooms, keep these windows down. If you're going to be in a room, open the window. If you ain't going to be in a room, keep the windows down. Because by you having windows open, people see that shit, they coming through. But the person, they think they can do whatever. And then I left. I went somewhere. I went to a church service or something. This is a while ago. This is years ago. And so I was only going almost as soon as I left. Two dudes. They cut through the window and was coming through. And the person that was here heard them. So when she came, she yelled, like she screamed out, and then they took off. Now, them same dudes that tried to come in through here, they got caught weeks later. They went into a white neighborhood, and they tried to do the same thing, and then they got caught and they got arrested. But again, that whole scenario would have been avoided if she just listened. But that's another drama queen. Everything associated with that person is drama. Knowing that person my whole life, from supernatural crazy ass shit, you name it, if it's fucked up in drama, it's usually coming from them. Not saying they don't have good points, but I'm just saying that drama it don't stop. And that's why you have to have a strong mind, but people have to know where you stand. And it doesn't matter who's calling you out and lying on you, because that's all they're going to do. Oh, he has an attitude problem. Oh, no. I just been on this planet long enough to tell you. And that's why I said some people don't like you. I heard Rap the News say the same thing. Because he said he be trying to tell people certain things and they don't want to hear it. But then when they walked in that walk and they find out that what we were saying is true, now they going to go, why ain't somebody tell me? Now they going to act like a victim. You ain't no victim. You knew what you was getting into. You was already warned, but you went anyway. Just like a reading like this. Ain't nothing good coming from this nigga. This dude need to get some help. I mean, like, it's very rarely do I start a chart off on some shit like this. This is some Psycho. If y'all never seen a movie Psycho with Alfred Hitchcock, that's what this dude is on. And I'm still going to say, I'm sorry if you've been victimized, but you can do something about it. Don't stay a victim. You can get help. And believe me, y'all don't even understand. There's people that help you, like, somehow for free, or they'll work something out with you if they feel like you need help. That's why I don't know why. Like, I would be up in there. If I felt like I'd be like, yo, what's up? I need help. Because I'd rather be up in there and get help than be fucking locked the fuck up. Or let's say you do something. You molest somebody's little kid and then they shoot you. Now you dead. All right. This is going to be Taurus in the 11th house. Give me a moment. All right. The 11th house is analogous to the sign of Aquarius on a personal level, because Aquarius rules the 11th house. The 11th house is friendship, association, groups, but this is also a strange point in the horoscope, which we find ways to communicate with our inner personality and the outer universe. It is the third house from the 9th house, the one ruling deities and religions. So the 11th house basically represents the way God speaks to us. This is our perception of faith, beliefs, religion, and everything that gives purpose to our existence. It will push us toward humane activity and choices made for the well-being of the entire mankind. Apart from ruling friendships, this is the house of personal liberation. This is the house where we are set free from obligations, make turns, recognize our wishes, and realize how great our minds are. This is the house that represents nonprofit organizations, different groups, clubs, and societies, higher association and acquaintances of like-minded attitudes. This house is here to support us and blow windows in our sails. It's a place where we find people who approve of our personality without judgment. This house represents speeding older siblings, because they said that the 11th house has a unique connection to the 3rd house, because the 3rd house is siblings, brothers and sisters, but this one is saying speeding older siblings, and everyone in our lives we will talk to in a spontaneous, liberating manner. This is the house where our work gives benefits, where our pension and the money we put aside after we're done with all our regular responsibilities. It is a house of rewards of our career efforts. And it will help us understand the collective just a little bit better. Taurus in the 11th house. So the importance of people's social life for a person's material satisfaction. So this person will learn about their senses through social contact and often have many stable, loving, and tender relationships that last a lifetime. This is a position for people who truly know how to nurture people they love without unrealistic expectations. So, if the person remains flexible, they will have a promise of joy and financial security at an old age. Now, I'm just going to read one more. This is astrologyclub.org. That other one was astrology-zodiac-signs.com. So this person's financial, Taurus in the 11th house, this person's financial, material, physical needs, probably influenced by social circles or by the collective needs of society. So this person may believe they need something just because the people around them need it or have it. They might tend to follow the crowd. So they may like to work with people like fundraising and stuff like that. So Taurus has to be careful in the 11th house because they may see life as how it relates to them, how it benefits them, but they really are supposed to see life as far as relating to other people. All right. So now they say Pallas retrograde, and this is what they say. Now, Pallas will help this person in the 11th house see things, see patterns and stuff like that. Pallas is the eyes, the head, intelligence. She was born from the skull of Zeus, who is Jupiter. Rules over philosophy, joy, a libido run amok. Now, Pallas again is asexual. So we're still dealing with sexuality with this person. But again, like this shit can go deeper and deeper. But if it's the result of any form of sexual abuse, this is why people have a problem with their sexuality. That's just a fact. And sometimes, like I said, if you're dealing with past lives and stuff like that, there are angels that are androgynous. See, a lot of this stuff goes on and goes on and goes on. There is one belief that people choose to come here. And they choose to go through these experiences. All this stuff is available to view on YouTube. So, Pallas is going to be intellectual pursuits ahead of romantic. And see, that kind of makes sense to me. Because I know for a fact, you don't hear it that much. But Tauruses can be kind of philosophical. Because I got a brother-in-law, that's how he is. He's more in the familiar. That's why me and him don't talk on shit like this. Because I refuse. Like, if there's a book or a website that explains the situation, why the fuck you think I'm going to listen to what you think happened? You know what I'm saying? And that's how he is. He'll go more with, philosophy or what he feels happened. I'm like, dude, your opinion don't mean shit. I need to see some books. I need to see some facts. So again, Pallas. So Taurus can be kind of a philosopher. A lot of people leave that for Sagittarius. But if you really know astrology, when you hear about Taurus being in the 9th or 12th house, or Sagittarius being in the 9th or 12th house, it's similar. It's similar. So they call Pallas the bipolar goddess. And we've already been talking about that. The bipolar. The external person that people get to see. But then all that internal stuff going on. So this person at I can't pronounce this. Hereticooracles.com. Hereticooracles.com. Pallas Athene retrograde. The old ways. That's where I'm at. So they're calling Pallas Ivana Trump. So they said Pallas is going to show you how to make it work. Seeing all those things at once and integrating. So his 11th house may be seeing if he gets out with the right environment of people and gets the right help, that he can heal past his secrets of the 1st house and 12th house. So Pallas will help him do that. She's saying Pallas retrograde will help him do that. Usually Pallas direct is helping you see patterns. Pallas retrograde is helping people who need help. Usually like the underdogs and underprivileged. So Asteroid Palace is trying to help him. And remember, Taurus is a very highly sensual sign. So Palace is offering to help him. But he's also got to be willing to go out in public and deal with it. And that's why you saw in his first house, you saw the Hermit, 9 degrees. Because the Hermit comes out in public. But they just go by their own enlightenment. But they are willing to come out in public. Now, if it was 12 degrees, that would be the Hangman. He ain't coming out. He don't want to come out in public. But that's Neptune energy. And Neptune rules Pisces. So that would be this gentleman's 12th house. So he's been encouraged to come out. But be with people that really want to help you. That's why that's so important. I try to tell people nowadays. A lot of people think, just going to church is going to help. It all depends on where you go. And sometimes you might be a spiritual person. And you might go to church, but they're not really spiritual. So that could kind of hurt you. But like I said, if you going somewhere where like adultery is tolerated, fornication and shit, and people like dressing like sluts and stuff, it's a freaking church. It's not a discotheque. It's not a club. I didn't come up in here to see how tight your shit could fit on your body. I could have went to a club and seen that shit. So that's why I say you got to really realize what I'm saying, because this is determining a whole lot of shit. And people are just assuming that ain't no hell or they ain't going to it. I'm telling you, the whole essence of astrology is telling you. Why do you think the 8th house is so much like the 12th house? There's a website out here called the 8th and 12th house houses.com. How come it ain't the 6th and 9th houses.com? How come it ain't the 3rd and 5th houses? How come it's the 8th and 12th houses.com? Wake up, motherfuckers. This shit is not a game in the slightest. So we can thank Palace for trying to help this individual get the help he needs in the 11th house, ruled by Aquarius. But now that leads me to believe he's going to have an Aquarius connection as well. All right. And again, in bringing home, my best friend, her mother was jealous of her. A person that was my girlfriend. When I'm talking about, her mother used to have dudes all up in the house. And one dude raped her and was strangling her and forcing her to do stuff and beating her ass and shit. And then when she told her mother what he did, her mother basically smacked her and accused her of lying and stuff. And her mother always treated her like garbage. But she stayed loyal to her mother. So I hated that woman. Like, if I've ever hated anybody in my life, it would have been that girl's mother. So when I would call to speak to her, the mother would get on the phone and try to, talk tough. And I used to just slam the phone in her ear real loud and shit. I hated her. And then she had a boyfriend that was real abusive and stuff. So then somehow he got my number, and she was telling me he gonna call you. He gonna call, but back then I was a different dude. Like I wish a nigga would call here, cause he might be crazy. Cause that dude would beat her up, and he would beat up her father. So her father tried to come to her aid, and he beat her father up and shit. So he thought he really thought he was a badass. I said, let that nigga call up over here and see what happened. So when he finally called, that nigga ain't come to me with all that crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? We had a gentleman conversation where I basically told that dude, listen, if you feel that's your girl, that's between you and her. Me and her talk on the phone. We just friends. Ain't nothing happening. Now, I never said I was going to stop talking or none of that shit. I just let that nigga know, whatever the fuck y'all got going on over there, keep that shit over here, my nigga. Because if you come over here with that crazy ass psycho shit, you going to see how East Coast niggas get down. It's that simple. It don't have to be all this tough guy talk, nigga. If you want it, come get it, my nigga. But I'm going to still call her, and whatever happen, going to happen. But right now, we just friends. But who's to say we might become more than friends? But I don't know. I don't want to know her mother. Her mother crazy. I don't need all this stress. Alright. So the point of telling y'all what we talking about in this video so far is some shit went on with some motherly, feminine stuff that's affecting this dude one way or another, all up in his subconscious mind and stuff like that. And he's dealing with multiple personalities, which is dangerous. That's a problem. Now, the 11th house gave him some hope. But see, me, I know how to talk. Like, see, y'all been taught by, really, you got to understand where your whole belief system came from, white supremacy. That's just a fact. And they gave you capitalism, and they gave you all this stuff. They stripped the indigenous people. They took the real art that I know, that I got back, and they gave you this fake ass shit. So you don't know how to talk. Like, you see Jesus talking to the wind, telling the wind to be quiet, and it does. You see Jesus doing a whole bunch of shit because he wasn't under no lies. Because just like Doreen Virtue told y'all, everything has matter. Matter is living energy. If it's living energy, that means it can hear, it can achieve, it can perceive. But you got to believe that. That's why when you hear Christians saying, you got to speak it into existence. You got to use your faith and speak it. And I've heard pastors say, listen, it was times I was in ministry, I couldn't afford no gas. I drove around on my car for weeks with no gas. I've heard pastors say that. I heard another pastor say, listen, our car broke down. We was in the middle of nowhere. He said, I got out that car. I took authority. I spoke to that and it started right up. Now, you can say, oh, I don't believe that, boy. It sounds fake. Whatever. I'm not even trying to prove nothing. The purpose of me telling you this stuff is not to try to prove anything. You got to make up your own mind. But I do believe this. I do believe that matter is life. And when you get out of this third dimensional matrix, they telling you it's a trick. Get out of this third 3D matrix. That's why they gave you the movie. They told you this shit is fake. Seeing a lady out there with the birds, he was showing her, don't that look like a lady out there with birds? But he was showing us like a fucking matrix. It's fake. You got somebody like Nani out here on YouTube, and she's constantly showing you and telling you about matrices and this reality is not really reality and what's really going down. So that's up to you to believe or not believe. That's not my purpose of the video. My purpose of this video is trying to tell you that people are wicked and they got spirits on them. Because a parent's number one goal should be to protect their child. And why so many people think that it can't happen to them? It's women getting raped every day. It's boys getting raped every day. Men and women getting raped every day. Girls definitely getting raped all the time with the girls. I had a friend that was in this church, and the guy that they appointed over the youth ministry or whatever, was a straight up pervert. He was a straight up pedophile. And he was banging out all them females, all them little girls. So this is the planet we on. But you're on a planet that people just go, oh, why talk about it? So why talk about it? You should, not only should you be talking about it, you should be doing something about it to stop it. You motherfuckers is cowards. That's why this shit goes on. Because you ain't man enough or woman enough to stop it. So we can thank Palace retrograde for offering to help this gentleman out. And that's why it's 14. Because it's still dealing with the weird balance he has. His balance is like with his mother, which is really inappropriate for this life. But if you're dealing with ancient gods, then maybe that's the reason why it is. But either way, Palace is offering to help. Ten is the Jupiter card, the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter. But 14 is the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius energy, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So the implications are he might do quite well because Taurus rules the second house of money. So the implication is he might do good with friends, association, and groups. Might even do financially well. Now, whether that's before or after Palace helps him, it would take way more digging to figure out that. Now, we jump into house number 2, Leo. Now, because Leo deals with children, you have to be careful because you got Mars there. Whenever you see Mars in any house that deals with children, you have to be careful because that could be abuse to children. Leo being a sun sign, but we already know this person has a balancing of the sun and moon. And so they give you the moon at Kyrus at 18 degrees. So once again, you see the feminine moon working with Leo in this second house for nurturing, because that's what Kyrus does. But this is the financial house. And the ruler of this house is Taurus. So the second house is now going to be the 5th house because of Leo. But let's just look at that 25 degrees. Wisdom, analytical skill, unique communication and perception, intuition, adventure, sensitivity, sensuality, spiritual, logical. Leo rules the 5th house, but at the end of the day, there's going to be a boldness, romantic, some people say egotistical, childlike, anything fun and creative, loyal, poetic. House number 3 ruled by Gemini and house number 5 ruled by Leo are your creative houses. And even the 8th house ruled by Scorpio can be in a creative house, but it's in a more paranormal way. So they may have, so they're implying in his 2nd house and his 11th house that this guy is going to be pretty good with money. And like I said, and it's funny how the world works, because when you think of somebody like Michael Jackson or R. Kelly, they're good with money, but a lot of their money goes to like perverted actions to finance their perverted habits. Because that was the whole people don't like to admit it, but that was the whole reason for Netherlands. Oh, I'm gonna have a lot of rides for the kids and have the kids come and all that. And then he would just sit there and pick and choose. So like he had a lot of children coming to his concerts and stuff. So he would sit there and pick and choose which ones he would be bringing home to sleep in his bed with him. Just facts. Sorry if you have a problem with it, but again, this is why our world is so fucked up, because everybody's a coward and they love music so much. Oh, it's all right if he's a pedophile. Just don't talk about him. I love Beat It. I go home and beat it. All right. Number 25, philosophy, psychology, metaphysics, other fields of science. And 27 is the diplomatic number. So they're almost implying, because he has like a Leo-like personality, even maybe like, because Michael was like a childlike person. That's Leo energy. I don't know what Michael Jackson was, but that's still Leo energy. All that wanting to be with kids and, you know, very artistic, very creative, very musical. That's all Leo energy. So like I said, Mars in Leo could be very intense, very competitive. It could be abuse of children. It could have that bipolar effect. You know, like somebody playing a sports game and get real crazy. Like when you be watching like those children in sports and their parent loses their fucking mind, and like their parent tries to have like somebody killed. You see shit like that? That's like a perfect example of Mars and Leo. Like over some little 5th grade baseball game or softball or soccer, and a parent gets so competitive that they're willing to put out a contract and have the other child killed. That's crazy. But that Mars and Leo can be like that. And it all depends on what the rest of the chart is saying. And so far, the rest of this chart is saying psychotic possibilities. Now you go to the 3rd house, ruled by Gemini. And now Virgo rules the 6th house of health, service, healing, the home, daily activities, subordinates, co-workers, small children, small animals. Now you have to be careful, because once again, the 3rd house is about small children, young children, the brotherhood or the environment around you, creativity, short distance travel, being intellectual, mental, multitasking, but it's still involving children again. So you have to be careful. That moon will always be stuff going on internally, and it's the mother with Virgo. So the moon in Virgo is almost like saying the moon in Cancer. This is the family, this is the home, and it's Virgo who's going to work with Vesta, because Vesta works with Virgo. Virgo represents the female goddess, Mother Mary, Isis, and then Vesta represents her priestess. And they work together for the family and the home, but Vesta can also turn out and be a straight up, highly sexual energy. It just depends on where Vesta is on your chart. And once again, number 14. So still blending in that temperance of the masculine and the feminine energy. Now don't get me wrong. I'm focusing. This is what I'm trying to do. Normally I would be focusing on a twin flame union. That's on probably all natal charts. But that mother connection is higher. And see, you gotta understand, I talk to a lot of people. I've had women that tell me their son says their son says, "Mommy, I came here to help you." Saying just weird shit, but kids are way more closer to the truth than we are. That's why they be having imaginary friends and stuff like that. I remember watching my niece when she was little. She'd just be looking around the room smiling, because she would look around the room and smile at the humans, but she would also look around the room and just be smiling and all kind of stuff. If y'all remember on the Hustle, well, he was looking at the cameras though. But when Bill Cosby was sitting with, I guess his grandson, but the character Huxtable, and the little boy was looking all up. So Bill Cosby said, "There's something strange with this boy," and the audience started laughing. But little kids do that anyway. Little kids, like little babies and little kids, young ones, they be looking all around because they see stuff that you don't see. They see your angels. They see everything. So in the case of this chart, almost every time I see this 14 or this union, it's deeper. And that's all I can tell you. Like, even if he has a twin that's not his mother, that mother energy is still going to be through that woman, through that twin. And again, I say it again, I've seen it too many times. I've seen weird connection between twin flame females and like the guy's mother or something like that. So that's what you're seeing with this moon and Virgo. And then it's a healing with Chiron. But why is it a healing? Well, Virgo is the healing, but it's also in communications, because you got to talk about it and deal with it. And you also got to be in association. Notice how he's got brotherly or other people activity in his 11th house and his 3rd house. Because you got to be around other people, but you just can't be around anybody. It has to be other people like-minded to get the encouragement you need. And the help you need, or he needs. Now you're going to look at the number 24. Number 24 is often called the return or the turning point. Now, why is it turning point for this guy? Because again, you're seeing healing. He's finally getting the healing that he needs. The number 24 is indicative of the deep cycles of the heart that enclose us into systems of sentiment and beliefs that are so powerful they form the foundation of all societies. So you see the Keris there, and the nurturer. Well, you see Chiron there. So it's kind of healing for him. But it just seems like what they're saying is by him talking about it, he's getting the healing that he needs. And again, you really see the asteroids helping him to heal. And I've never seen the asteroids that intent on healing someone. Not that many on the same chart and all that. So this is called straightwoo.com. 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 The asteroids of healing. He calls them spiritual asteroids. And he calls it spiritual and mystical healing. Iris. And that's funny, that's the person I was with for 8 years. Iris. The rainbow goddess. Iris was known as a messenger and communicator. So there we can include psychic capacity, oracle work, and channeling. Hygeia, Coronis, Pythia, Asculapia, Apollo, Panacea, Machaon, Podalius, Asclepius, Asclepius. So they're saying the moon will help heal his home and his problems. But they all seem to be telling him to talk about it. And don't be afraid to even share it with the brotherhood or the community. Once again, you know that's why you keep seeing 9 degrees, because the sign of Virgo or the home and health is indicative of him healing. And now you see the 9 degrees, which represents that Virgo energy. But now it's Libra in the 5th house. So now his 5th house is going to be his 7th house, right? Is that okay? Libra in the 4th house with Virgo energy. And whenever you see Libra, you always got to be aware of possibilities with the law. But this is definitely some type of partnership or relationship that definitely will have a connection to family, the 4th house. And if it's the fourth house, it could also have a connection to teenage to adult education, land and property or real estate, ancestors or the family, the heart, vehicle or travel. And again, the Imam Coeli, which is analogous to the moon in Cancer. But wherever you see the moon at on your chart, that moon has a connection to a person's mother. And now, a lot of activity in the fifth house. So this really is about fun, childlike activity, creativity. And you can tell this person is going to be very creative because they got a unique connection to all the creative houses. And again, this is more like Michael Jackson stuff because he took stuff like made it entertaining, monsters and werewolves and monkeys and a rat. This dude made a love song to a rat. Come on, don't act like y'all don't know Ben. Don't make me sin. I can't sing. I don't want to disrespect Mike, so I'm not gonna try to sing. But singing to a rat and shit. All right. Imagine you fuck with somebody and this nigga go home and talk to some rats and not no mafia dudes and nothing like that. Real rats and shit. You be sleeping and all of a sudden you hear some noises and wake up as rats all over your fucking house and shit, all in your room and shit. Reason why I'm saying that, because that's Scorpio. That's all that shit coming out the 8th house. Now, she should have that free report with what's in the 8th house, Scorpio. Because, see, that's the stuff that's fun for him. But he's also going to do, that's where Venus is. So there's going to be deep love, sexual love, freaky love. Like, it might even get crazy. Anything is possible in that 8th house. And remember, Scorpio is always going to deal with death and resurrection. And whenever you see Pluto in Scorpio, it's going to be unbelievable transformation. Highly sexual. And you see that number 14 again. So as you can see, that number 14 follows this dude on his natal chart. And that's his true north node. And again, he's a good communicator with this energy. And usually the 5th house is opposite the 11th house, but they kind of work together. So that might be one of the reasons why people are into him, because he's into all this Scorpio type stuff. Could be secrets, it could be sexual, or it could just be somebody that's knows how to really tap in or sell the unknown, because a lot of people are interested in that stuff. But you can tell by Jupiter that he's going to be making a lot of money there. Number 27 is the number of the diplomat, so he really knows how to sell his product. And then his girl is 28 degrees in Scorpio. So 28 degrees can mean business, but it can also mean not really balanced. But I get the feeling him and her are going to be off the hook with a lot of sexual stuff. A high degree of sexuality. And whether he sells this program to the people, we don't know, but it looks like that's kind of what he does. But it's gonna work out for him well financially. Now, when you go into the 6th house of Sagittarius, and we already told you what the 6th house is about, because it's ruled by Virgo. It continues, and that's interesting. There is no aneretic on his chart, but right there, 28 degrees. That could have easily been 29 degrees, but right there is Juno at 28 degrees. And then there is no 29, and then they go right into the vertex cross at 0 degrees. So you have to ask yourself, is it the same person or a different person? We know that Juno implies a serious relationship. But this is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is not necessarily about serious relationships. Scorpio gets their freak on, especially in the 5th house. So, but remember, it is about death. It definitely is about death and resurrection. So what I'm saying, they may meet and get their freak on and all that, but then they go into a death-like situation. But then it gets revived later on with the Virgo energy. It's almost like saying the Scorpio-Pluto enemy, the Scorpio-Pluto energy puts them to death. And it's also in the 5th house, so that is Leo energy, kind of puts them to death. But then the Virgo energy raises them back up with more maturity, which is Sagittarius. Because remember your Sphinx. See, your Sphinx is a bringing together of the masculine energy of the lion and the Virgo or the Sphinx. And it kind of seems like that's what they're doing here. So now at 0 degrees and 0 degrees again, you see the vertex. This is starting over new. This is the Fool card. This is Uranus energy. But this is starting over new. So new that anything is possible. Because it's not a lot of experience. But it's dealing with Virgo energy. Or 6th house energy. And that's their sun sign at number 4. Now number 4 is Aries energy, the Emperor. But you see where Aries is on his chart. I believe that's house number 10. And that would be your career, Cancer, energy, career, and reputation. Now, number 8 at the medium Coeli, in his case, it could be the Leo energy or it could be the Libra energy. Leo energy is the strength card, and that's ruled by Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. Or it could be Libra energy, which is the justice card. But right now it looks like it's Leo energy working with the sun in the fire sign of Aries. Because remember, your 6th house really is connected to the 10th house. A lot of people don't like to admit that, but your 6th house can be about daily activities or daily duties, which would include your job. And the 6th house can also be about co-workers, which could include your job. So that's the connection. And Sagittarius is going to be higher, longer travel. It could be foreign speaking people. It could be foreign houses, dealing with homeland security, philosophy, religion, healing. Philosophy, science or higher science, psychology. Now, when you go in the 7th house, again, there's Capricorn. Which is kind of like the 10th house. But Capricorn can deal with, Capricorn is ruled over by Saturn. So Capricorn deals with setting things up, making them more professional, possibly making a career out of it. But Uranus comes in to destroy that order and replace it with more of an idealistic Neptune order or a 12th house order, because Neptune rules Pisces, which is going to be in the 9th house. Right now we're in the 7th. And if you're in the 9th house, you're still dealing with Sagittarius energy. Neptune rules Pisces, and that rules the 12th house. And because you see the number 21, you know it's a karmic situation. And number 23. And give me a moment, we'll look up the number 23. So this person can be a 23, is a good communicator, could be a writer, salesperson. Very witty, very diplomatic. Curious, quick thinking. But they also associate the number 23 with the number of chaos, because they do associate the number 5 with chaos. But there's more to the number 5 than just chaos or violence. So again, something Capricornian in the 7th house of relationships will be struck with something Uranus to upset it. And once that is, things will become more idealistic or Piscean or 12th house. And then when you go to the 8th house, it's nothing there, but you have Aquarius. So remember, now you could be dealing with technology as well. You can still be dealing with people, places, and things, but Aquarius also deals with technology, and also it deals with like the age of Aquarius, knowledge, secret knowledge. And then the 9th house is unique because Jupiter used to rule Pisces. Now Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And Neptune rules Pisces. But this 9th house is primarily about inspiration because Pisces is there. And wherever you see Pisces, you got to look at where Neptune is and also where the 12th house is. Now, Saturn is about karma. Saturn is about time delays. But once again, Saturn is at 5 degrees, which can be breakdown. It could be chaos. It could be the Taurus card, which is the Hierophant. It could be creativity, youthfulness. And Aries in the 10th house, as I said, is some type of leadership position. Aries usually deals with the eyes and like the top of the head. All right. And because her first house is Aries, but it's the family. And even when you go to her Pisces in the 9th house, it's still taking you back to the 12th house, which is ruled by Pisces. So now, let's go around again. They both have Vesta and Cancer. They both have Curious in Leo. They both have a connection with Mars and Leo. And Curious in Leo. And Uranus and Neptune. They both have Chiron and Virgo. See, these two got some type of asteroid connection. For the most part. They both have Venus See, this is where it get creepy. Both of these people got stelliums. Stelliums is when you got 4 or more planets in one house. So they have 4 planets. Both of them have 4 planets in Scorpio. So I don't know if I've ever said she's twins with somebody or not. I really don't remember. But this would be more like a twin flames connection. But whatever it is, it's a powerful connection. It's asteroids. It's Mercury, Juno, Jupiter, Venus, Pluto, and that's your stellium. And like I don't even know if I've ever seen that before, because they have the exact same planets in the exact same sign. Her sun sign Sagittarius, his ascendant Sagittarius. Both of them have Saturn in Aquarius. Both of them have medium quality at 8 degrees. And I said both of them have Saturn in Pisces. Both of them have Pallas and Taurus. So, like I said, I don't know if I've ever said it before, twins, but this would definitely be more twin flames chart. So, somebody said, well, wow, you said, you said a lot of fucked up shit about the chart on the left. Yo, cause you got to get help. And what happens is these people never want to get help. They think ain't nothing wrong with them, or they don't want people in their business or whatever the strand. Or maybe they think they can't afford it. And I get sick of hearing about people getting raped and killed and silly shit. I'm just tired. I've been here too long at the end of the day. It's just too many sad stories out here. And the saddest story is to have knowledge and have somebody like me and then still go and do some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? But I see this shit all the time. So I don't know. Like I said, I could give a whole bunch of advice, but I'm not. The thing is, this dude would really have to get some help. He's got to deal with the mother issues he's got, whatever it is. So the only thing that really throws me off though is she's got that weird connection from Capricorn to Leo and Cancer, and he don't really. And see, he really don't have that aspect. I mean, he's got a little bit because his Mars is pointing up where that Saturn goes. But I don't know, it's just not as dramatical as her whole Mars Capricorn. All right, now remember, I got a lot of offers going on. Make sure you have the most recent services offered and price lists. And have a lot more videos coming as well. You can always contact by information in the description box. And remember, I do more than just natal charts. I do anything paranormal. All right, it's been a pleasure. God bless.